Hello, welcome back to Darak Watches. I'm Derek. Today we are talking about oil-filled watches. I'm always a Resin fan, especially the Type 2, but the price tag is just too steep. It's $48,800. I cannot justify to wear my car on my wrist. And that is the first time I know oil-filled watches it's a thing, so I start looking to more affordable brand like Sin. This is the Sin UX. As you can see, this is a very handsome German-made oil-filled watch, but it's still a $2,500 watch. So what's the big deal of oil-filled watches? According to Resin, quote, "The use of oil ensured complete legibility whatever the angle of the view," unquote. And that not just improved the viewing angle on the watch, it's also made it super clear underwater, just like the glass is not even there. As you can see on the left, that's an oil-filled watch. On the right, that's non-oil-filled. You can see a huge difference. If you wear your watch in the pool before, you know what I'm talking about. A few days ago, I saw a post on Facebook by Bernard G. Shout out to Bernard G. Thank you very much for sharing this. Basically, he sacrificed a $20 Casio and oil-filled it with mineral oil. The end result is stunning. In this video, I will show you what technique I use to oil-fill these watches and what material I use. So instead of using mineral oil, I decided to use silicone oil because I have very bad experience with mineral oil eating away plastic parts. It will make plastic very fragile and break away. This is the new MicroLubrol, the Type 200 fluid silicone oil. This is the 50 CST. This is very important. This is the viscosity. If you go less than 50, it will get more runnier. If you go more than 50, it will be more thick. 50 seems like a nice balance. Let's look at these end results. First of all, it's the silver Casio. When I saw that post, I thought to myself, I need to try it out. So I grabbed this Casio, opened it up, and oil filled the thing. Wear it for a day, and I really like it. Even it's like LCD, you cannot really see the oil fill, the difference, but yeah, it looks nice. So I go ahead and grab two more watches, and that is the one right here. This actually is the same watch as Bernard G posted in his video. As you can see, this case back is those kind of screw case back, as same as the silver Casio right here. These type of case back is more easy to mod because you don't need to use a case back opener, you just need to use a screwdriver. And this Casio actually have a screw down case back, so you can see what's the difference between the operation with two kinds of case back in this video. I just need to warn you guys, before you rush to Amazon to buy all the silicone oil and watches, I'm not the expert of oil-filled watches. I'm still figuring out what type of oil to use. Does this oil affect movements or dial or lume? If you are an oil-filled watches expert, please let us know what kind of oil these watch companies use. Let's start with the first build. So if you want to do an oil fill, make sure you get a new watch or clean the watch thoroughly, because you are submerging the watch inside like an oil tank. If there's dust, it will carry the dust in the oil and it will flow into the watch. So it's very different. Make sure you clean the watch very well. After you clean the watch, you just need to disassemble the watch. After the watch has been disassembled, put it in a plastic container barely holds the case. That's the key point, so you don't use too much oil. And now fill a little bit of oil in the case. Now you will just start putting back together the watch, and make sure you clean all the parts before you put it in and add the silicone oil accordingly. When you drop in the movement, make sure you drop in at an angle so the bubble will have a chance to get out. And make sure you drop it very slow. Don't trap any bubble underneath it. Slow and at an angle. This is how I done it without a vacuum chamber. I will also use a syringe full with silicone oil and inject underneath the dial to force the air bubble out. This is where I done wrong at this build. I corrected at the next build. You shouldn't install the crown first because it will have a greater oil pressure when you screw down the case back. So I will leave this part last. After you are done with your silicone oil, don't just dump everything in the trash. You can use a cotton ball and a syringe to filter the silicone oil to make it clean again. This is very common practice in chemistry. It can filter like very tiny particles, very effective. Now the watch is finished. I know it's slimy and gross. You just need to wash it with this soap and it's pretty effective. After washing, let's take a very close look at this beauty. As you can see, the viewing angle changed a lot. There will be a comparison video in the end, but now we can see like all the wording, lettering like flow to the front of the watch, almost look like smartwatch, like LCD panel. It's very interesting. I really like this look. If you already decided to give it a try, I will have all the product that I use in this video in the video description. The second build is the Casio E.Durable, which is a 200 meters water resistant dive watch. Oh yeah, it's on my wrist. I have to. Again, you need to clean the watch case before you start filling the watch with oil, obviously. Again, you need to disassemble the whole watch, but this watch is a bit more tricky. First of all, it's a screw down case back. Second, the chapter ring is stuck to the dial, means it's very hard to get the bubble out from the dial. Now, since I'm more experienced, I just fill up the whole thing. Okay, here's come the tricky part. Do you still remember the chapter ring is stuck to the dial? That will cause bubble to trap between the chapter ring and the dial. Okay, this is the technique I forced the bubble out. So I lifted one side of the dial and used the syringe, force silicone oil through the opposite side of the dial. As you can see, the bubble is pushing out like a lot. It's very effective. This time I put the crown in position, but I didn't push it all the way in. I realized if you flip the case back rapidly like this, you can force the bubble out. When I really start screwing down the case back, I can feel resistance, like the oil pressure is building inside, and when I pause for a little, the oil pressure went away, I can screw down even more. So the oil is really forcing it out through the crown. At this point, I feel I cannot hand tighten the case back anymore, so I use the case back opener to tighten it. After the case back is tightened, I try to push the crown back in to latch on the movement. As you can see, there's resistant like pressure forcing me back. It's pretty hard to press it in. Means there might not be a lot of bubble in there. At this point, this watch is finished. I just need to wash it up with dish soap. Alright, this beauty has been washed and dried. Actually, a little bit disappointed, just to be honest, because it doesn't look like this watch. The black one popped. Can you understand what I'm talking about? But because the stainless steel case watch have a gray dial, it doesn't pop that way, or maybe it's the numbers and indices. I don't know what's different, but both of them looks amazing. Just the black one is much more better than the gray dial, in my opinion. Alright, the build is finished. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I do. And actually it doesn't use a lot of oil. I make 3 watches and I only use like 1/5 of the bottle. Maybe because I filter my oil. If you dump it every build, I think you already run through the whole bottle. Again, thank you for joining this journey with me. I'm still learning. I'm not sure if the silicone oil is the right oil to use. If you do know, please share it with us. In the comment section, I will make sure I read them all. That would be very helpful. And I will also update all the information in the video description where I got the oil, or somebody do suggest different kind of oil or what it will do, what's the best thing to use. I will put it in the video description. Make sure you check that out. Regardless, if you are interested in this mod and you need me to help you to make this happen, please write me an email. It is contact@darakwatches.com. For this mod, I cannot provide any warranty. As you know, I don't know what will happen to the watch. Maybe it will stop working after 2 weeks, or maybe this is the correct word to use. Anyway, if you found this video is entertaining and educational, please like this video and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. This will help me a lot. There are more videos like this in my channel. Please take your time and watch them all. Thanks for your support. This has been Derek from Darak Watches. I will see you next time. Bye.